Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Parenting Playbook. I'm your host, Caylee Hanna. Today, I am joined by Elizabeth and Brianna. They are part of the Nurse Family Partnership Amarillo program here in Amarillo. Thank you all so much for being here with me today.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So, first off, I want to get to know y'all and your backgrounds. I'm going to start off with you, Elizabeth. Kind of tell me how you started working with families and first-time parents.
So, I guess you could say I wanted to be a nurse ever since I was 5 years old. I've always had a passion for that. I was actually a candy striper at Northwest starting at 14.
Really?
So I volunteered in the summers, and I actually worked in the NICU, pediatrics, and labor and delivery floors.
Oh, wow.
So that's where my passion grew for mothers and babies. And then went to nursing school. I worked in the gift shop, went to nursing school, and my first job was NICU. A NICU nurse. I thought I was never going to do anything else, but I did NICU for 12 years, and then I started this job working with, first-time mothers and babies, and I feel like it's just my passion that I have, helping moms and babies.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a great need that needs to be filled.
Yes.
And Brianna, you're a nurse also with this organization.
Yes, that's
So
correct.
kind of tell me why you got into nursing and how you became part of this organization.
Okay, so mine's a little different. I didn't know that I wanted to be a nurse until I actually had my son.
Okay.
And I had a nursing student follow the labor and delivery nurse, and I thought it was very interesting. So I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So I went to school, and I initially wanted to be a labor and delivery nurse, but they didn't have any open positions. So I took the position at the neonatal intensive care at Northwest, and I was there for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And then just working there, honestly, I saw a lot of need for those mamas to have somebody to support them before their pregnancy.
Yeah.
Of course, not all, premature birth is preventable, but if someone was in there giving them this education, maybe we can help in some way. So Liz told me about this position, and I jumped on it because it's a home visiting, and it's really nice. So
Absolutely. And Elizabeth, kind of tell me, for people who may not know about this organization, tell me about Nurse Family Partnership and what your team does here in Amarillo.
So Nurse Family Partnership is actually a nationwide program that started, it's evidence-based. It started back in 1970s as trials, and then in 1994 it was actually an inception, a program. It became a program. Our headquarters, you could say, are in Colorado. Texas is one of the states that, of course, has the most NFP sites. Every NFP, we follow we have a model, but every NFP is different because of what agency we are housed under. Here in Amarillo, we are housed under Coalition of Health Services, which is a nonprofit community organization. And so we have different programs there, including Nurse Family Partnership. Nurse Family Partnership is free for moms as long as they have some qualifying criteria. One of those is we only serve, unfortunately, Potter, Randall County as of right now. Hopefully, in the future, our goal is to expand, of course, into the rural communities because we know there's a real need.
Right.
And we are funded through the McV grant.
Okay.
We love acronyms.
Oh, yeah.
So the McV grant is the Maternal Infant Early Childhood Home Visiting Grant. It is a federal grant, but the state manages it, and we are under the Human Health HHSC and under the Family Supports Program.
Gotcha.
Not to be, I know it can get
There's a lot.
confusing. It can get confusing because we do have a family support services here in Amarillo, but that's through the state. That's who manages our grant. So we have 6 nurses. Every nurse has 25 families that they take care of, and right now we are serving 150 families for Potter and Randall.
That is a lot.
Yes, and so the criteria is first-time mom, because we're evidence-based, and that's where they say there's a window of opportunity where we can make change happen. So the other criteria is I really don't like to say it this way, but it is more income-based,
Gotcha.
high risk. I like to say vulnerable, at-risk families, just because we can go and make a difference just with the support, the education that we provide them. So we are with them from the time that they are pregnant until their babies are 2 years old. So
wow.
basically, like, we have a relationship with them, and we become family with them too. So our main goals is to improve pregnancy outcomes. Of course, like Bree said earlier, you know, not every premature birth is preventable, but yet we're there to educate them the signs to watch out for. If they're having high blood pressure, if they're having, you know, high blood sugar issues, like what to look out for, what to eat, make sure that they're, how important prenatal vitamins are, how important going to their prenatal visits are. That's where all that comes in. We do divide it into 3 phases. We have the pregnancy phase, we have the infant phase, and then we have the toddler phase. So the second goal is improving child health and development, and of course we will make sure the child is, they make sure they're going to their well child visits, make sure that they're going to hitting their milestones. We do focus a lot on mental brain development for babies, infant mental health, and we're like already teaching them from pregnancy the importance of attachment and bonding and how that is so good for their baby. And then our third goal is self-efficacy. Basically, we want them to, you know, eventually we're there for them, but we want them to grow and succeed. So that is one of our goals, is like breaking the cycle, making sure that they're successful. And, you know, our motto is like a garden. And I always tell my nurses, we're there to plant the seed, we're there to water it. We might not see the fruits of our labor while the family is in our program, but we might see it 5 years down the road, 10 years, or even maybe with their children. So that's when we love getting like our client testimonials, like whenever how successful they are. We have several. Actually, we have one that reached out recently to one of my other nurses that she had a rough beginning, was 16 when she got pregnant, and she just got in contact with my nurse and wants her to pin her for her. She's graduating in December with her nursing degree, and she wants her to pin her because she said that's who inspired her to become a nurse and keep going.
That is so sweet.
Yes, we have tons of stories like that.
Yeah, and it proves that you really are making an impact, kind of like you said, like having that support system is just so important for these moms and even these dads too. And how does this program kind of, I know you touched base on it, but providing that support, that critical support for them, why is that so important?
It's just, it's hard to believe, and it's hard to say, like, there are girls that don't have that support, that you would think they have family and friends. And we tell them, like, when we're not there to take the place of your family and friends, we're there to give you that added professional support. And it's the simple stuff, like stuff that they didn't know about, even, you know, like taking care of yourself during pregnancy, how important self-care is, just for them, but also like what to watch out for a baby. And then the whole, you know, brain development, how important it is to model, you know, behaviors for their babies, because they really are their baby's first teacher.
Absolutely. And Brianna, kind of talk about how you help parents build confidence in their parenting skills in general.
Okay, awesome. So I think just starting in pregnancy is so important, because learning about how to take care of a baby and being responsive, giving the baby love, that's really going to help. And just giving them that guidelines that this is a way to do it, but of course we're not going to tell them like this is wrong, or we're not coming in there to tell them that they're not doing it right. We're just going to support them in their choice, and of course give them evidence-based education as well. And I think that's really important.
Absolutely.
And also we see them every 2 weeks, so it's, you know, we do become family. And so I feel like, you know, they learn to trust us, and we have that special bond, and it just makes a big difference.
Yeah, it really does make a difference whenever you have somebody there that you're familiar with, instead of, say, just going to your doctor's appointment, you know.
Yes.
You know, it's nice to have that bond and be able to trust somebody and tell them, like, hey, this is what's going on, and feel comfortable. So
That's so true. And I have a lot of girls that they say that they're uncomfortable, asking their physician, but they're
Yeah.
comfortable asking us. But of course, we always do refer them to their
Oh,
physician
absolutely,
if it's something
yeah.
that they need to see the doctor for.
yeah.
But yes, they really do get to be, very close, and they open up a lot and tell you things.
And that's another part also, is basically we're teaching them to be advocates for themselves,
Yeah.
to advocate for their health and also for their children.
Absolutely. And Brianna, kind of give me some simple but effective parenting tips that you typically share with these families.
Parenting tips. Okay. And of course, with TikTok and everything, it's all in their face.
Yeah.
There's so many different hacks and tips. With TikTok, they see all of these different things, and so basically the basics. We always want to go back to the basics. This is how you care for your baby. These are your baby's infant cues. That way they can respond appropriately to their baby.
Yeah.
We also do developmental screenings to make sure that the baby is meeting all of those milestones. And if they're not, we can definitely give them education on how to help their baby, or even make referrals in the community. Tips, there's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many tips, but we definitely, just the basics, I feel, are the best things. Like,
Absolutely.
love, bonding, playing with your baby, and just that responsive parenting is my favorite tip.
Absolutely.
One of the ones we strive on a lot, like brain development, and we're saying talk to your baby even during pregnancy, read to your baby.
Yeah.
So we have partnered with Storybridge,
Oh,
where
okay.
they donate books to us so that we give to the moms so that they have, and of course we enroll them into Dolly Parton's Imaginary Station. That way they are being provided books, and so we focus on that a lot, and we're like, read to your baby, make sure you're reading. I actually had one mom, like, she was in school and she would read her schoolwork out loud.
Really?
And, yes, and that helped baby. And I say baby, she's already probably like 7 now, but she's like well versed at school.
Yeah.
And that's what they say, like, families that are in our program, the children usually tend to be more prepared by the time that they get into school.
Gotcha. And I feel like that's so important, like really stressing reading to your kids. I feel like that's something that's overlooked a lot lately.
Yes.
And I know with my son, I had him in February. And so,
Congratulations.
thank you. And whenever, I was on news and I was pregnant, my husband's mom was like, oh, make sure you're reading to her belly. And he was like, well, technically, she's reading to him every morning on the news. So I was like, hey, whatever works,
Yes.
But Brianna, kind of talk about, I know mental health is such a big topic when it comes to parenting. So how do y'all kind of address mental health or stress management for these new parents?
Well, we do start in pregnancy as well. We do a screening on them, like a baseline screening for depression, anxiety, and that way they can kind of, name name those feelings that they're having if it is starting in pregnancy, because sometimes it will start in pregnancy.
Yeah.
And then with everything that's going on in the world today, I feel like it's a little bit harder on everybody's mental health.
Yeah.
So a lot of my clients are struggling with that. And so just coming in there and letting them know that there is resources, and that we can get the help that they need, starting in pregnancy, and then of course even after baby's born. About 1 in 5 women suffer from postpartum depression. So it's a lot, and I honestly feel like those statistics might be a little bit higher. As far as like my caseload and the screenings that we provide. It's almost all of my clients.
I do feel like it is getting more and more common as like the screenings increase.
Yes. And then so just being able to come in, and we do also offer NFP, mental health intervention. So we are trained for that as well. We are not therapists, so we can definitely refer to therapists in the community. But sometimes that's hard too. We definitely need more mental health resources in our area and of course around the United States.
Elizabeth, how do y'all create a safe and healthy home environment for these babies?
So, of course, it starts with we have to build that trust with the families. And so, we are a home visiting program. We go to the homes, and at first, we do introduce, when we introduce ourselves, we're like, we are home visiting, but you can select the location wherever you're most comfortable with. Sometimes, whenever they're enrolling in pregnancy, it's more of like, let's meet at Starbucks. Let's meet Chick-fil-A. Where have you met?
Oh yeah, Chick-fil-A. I've met at a park.
Yes.
Okay.
We can meet at families' homes. I mean, just wherever they want us to go. And they come to our office sometimes as well.
okay,
If they're more
gotcha.
comfortable with that, we have space for that.
So it's more of that building that trust, that relationship to where they feel comfortable enough for them to open their homes to us. And then that's where we're providing education, like, electric socket safety, like, if once they start moving around, cables, and making sure this is picked up. Of course, we never judge their homes or any of that. We're there just to provide that guidance and safety to make their home, safe.
Yeah, babies
them.
get into whatever they want to, so it's important.
Yes, and not only that, we also do IPV screenings, intimate partner violence, and like you were saying, we don't tell them what to do in those situations. It's more of like a guidance and what to do in those cases, and we're there to provide that support too.
Absolutely. And kind of talk about why is it so important for first-time parents in this community to have a program like this that does provide such a strong support system for them? Because I know some people, they don't even have supportive families, so.
Exactly, and that's exactly why our program is evidence-based and why it's targeted to first-time mothers, because there is that window of opportunity for change where they're acceptant to the support and resources that the program provides. I'm not saying like moms with other babies don't like that already have babies are not willing to, but it's more of like it's new. First time moms are always wanting to learn their it's. And another little thing we say is, babies don't come with manuals.
Right.
But in our program, you get your own free personal nurse. Like,
exactly.
That can,
it's your little manual.
Yes, that can guide you, and we're there for them to ask whatever questions. During the pregnancy phase, of course, like they might be 8 weeks pregnant, but they want to know, what is L&D going to be like? What is labor and delivery process going to be like?
I know labor and delivery was the part where I was like, I'm so scared. What do I even do? How do I go about that? So
yeah, and then my nurses are also lactation certified counselors. So we're already educating about breastfeeding, the benefits. And then the next topic, once baby is born, is, I don't know why, it's the most popular one, teeth. What happens when my baby gets teeth?
Yeah.
And then of course, like, what do I do, or how do I know my baby is sick? And when, of course, honestly, the most popular one during the infancy phase is, when do I start feeding my baby solids?
Yeah.
Because there's so many
different things that you hear.
Exactly.
We just went ahead and we waited till like our pediatrician gave us the go ahead, and I was like, I don't even want to Google.
Yes.
It's going to tell me like 20 different things.
Exactly. And then of course the toddler phase, it's more of the discipline, like how do we handle disciplining a toddler and potty training. So it's just providing that guidance and support, because they're we feel like first time parents are open and willing to listen and learn.
Yeah. And every child is so different.
Yes,
and so it's kind of great that y'all are kind of there to not like hold their hand, but give them that guidance to tailor to their baby.
Exactly. And that's what we do. We do have a model, but they might have 25 families, but they do not treat those families the same. Every family is different. Every mom and child and dad are different. So something we are excited, hopefully in the future, NFP is piloting a new program where they're allowing it's called multi-parentos, but moms that already have other babies
Oh, great.
to join the program. And so that's something in the works in the future. So hopefully, maybe.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Yes.
Because I know, like, obviously, first-time moms are always going to have those questions and
Yes.
want to know things. But sometimes, you know, with babies being so different, moms with multiple kids are like, well, what do I do for this one? You know?
Exactly.
So I think that's super, super important. And how can parents get in touch with y'all, sign up for this program?
So our program is voluntary. Anyone can join as long as they meet that criteria that they are first-time pregnant moms. You know, a lot of people, when they hear first-time pregnant, they think teenagers,
Yeah.
and that is actually not the case. Yes, we do have teenagers in the programs, but our main chunk or average of clients are between 20 and 25.
Okay.
But we've had as young as 13,
Oh, wow.
and actually we've had a couple in their 40s. So
A wide range.
a wide range for sure. And so the other criteria is for them to be on Medicaid or WIC, income base. And so usually the referrals do come, the main resources we have are Haven Health Clinic, because they do pregnancy testing there. Texas Tech OBGYN sends us referrals. Regents Health Network, Women's and Children's Northwest, they send us referrals. And so that's where we get a lot of our referrals from, but it could be self-referral, just going on our website, just calling us. We also, the best one is word of mouth. Like, if we have a client and they're like, oh, I have a cousin that's pregnant and I told her about the program and she wants to join, or I have a friend, that's honestly also the best way that we get referrals.
Absolutely. And how can community members or local organizations kind of support what y'all are doing?
So we are a nonprofit organization. We are grant funded, but we also have to have match dollars for
Gotcha.
that. We do have our website, coalition.net, where we have donations if anyone wants to donate to our program. We do get grants from United Way. We are a program that United Way sponsors. And so any like small grants that we get, like from them, for example, we use to buy boppies for our moms that are breastfeeding.
Okay, yeah.
Books, also we buy books with that. Gifts whenever babies hit milestones, graduation gifts or Christmas gifts. Once a year we have graduations. So everyone that hits 2 we usually host it at the Amarillo Zoo, and so we need donations for that too. So
absolutely. And I'm going to ask you both this question. Brianna, I'm going to start with you. Kind of what message would you like to share with new or expecting parents who might be feeling a little overwhelmed at the moment?
Especially if it's a new parent, a first-time pregnant mom, definitely look us up, apply, go on our website or give us a call. We would love to help support you. And then if it's just a new parent in general, just, listen to your motherly instincts. It's really important, go with your heart. Sometimes you'll have family members telling you one thing and it might sound off, but go with what you feel, as far as taking care of your baby. And find good support, because a lot of times we are in relationships that might not be healthy, situations that might not be healthy, but there is good support in the community, and just look for that.
Absolutely. And Elizabeth, what's a message you would give?
Probably for parents that are feeling overwhelmed, first time or not, is just, you're not alone. Yeah. Everyone goes through it. It might be a different situation, but that feeling is always there, and just know that they are not alone, that there is community resources out there, programs like ours out in our community that are there to help and support. Absolutely. So that they don't feel that overwhelmed feeling.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Of course. And of course, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time.